Yes, greetings to you all. I am the African teacher, welcoming you to this another edition of the Wake Up Call right here on African Eyes Radio, your revolutionary radio. Yes, so before we say anything, we would like to tell everyone to buck up their seatbelts, because if you don't know the African teacher, you might end up feeling not comfortable listening to us, because some of the words that comes from our mouth can make you not to be comfortable with us. But we need you to stick right there so that you should hear what we have for you today in this show. So just buck up your seatbelts and listen to what we have to say. Lifting up the Pope's gown so that we have to see the shame that is hiding under there. This is what we want to talk about today in this program. We want to lift the dress of the Pope up so that we should uncover the shame that has been hiding under the Pope's dress. This is a metaphor. I know most of you don't understand what I'm trying to say here, but I want you to stick right there so that perhaps by the end of this program you will understand what the African teacher is trying to say. We will uncover the shame that hides underneath the Pope's dress. Yes, so lifting up the Pope's gown so that we should see the shame that is hiding underneath the dress is what we want to talk about in this show today. Stick right there and be with me. Don't leave me alone. If somewhere, somehow I'm wrong, I need you to come to the comment section and point it out that, okay, here you are right, but here, African teacher, this is not how it is supposed to be. Yes, so don't forget also to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on that subscribe button so that at least also this channel can have many subscribers. Like our videos, we've got quite a number of videos, lessons that are there in our playlist. Yes, the African teacher right here on African Eyes Radio, your revolutionary radio. So during most of the 16th and 17th centuries, fear of heretics spreading teachings and opinions that contradicted the Bible dominated the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church persecuted scientists who formed theories the Church deemed heretical and forbade people from reading any books on those subjects by placing the books on the Index of Prohibited Books. A type of war between science and religion was in play, but there would be more casualties on the side of the science. A good example is Nicholas Copernicus and Galileo Galilei. Galileo Galilei, the man who is connected to the discovery of the telescope. So these two scientists printed books that later became banned. Copernicus faced no persecution when he was alive because he died shortly after publishing his book. But Galileo, on the other hand, was tried by the Inquisition after his book was published. Both scientists held the same theory that the earth revolved around the sun, a theory which is now known to be true to the whole world, but by then the church was ignorant to how the heavenly bodies works. In the book of Joshua, it's recorded that Joshua commanded the sun to stop from moving, and the sun stopped from moving. So these scientists, they pose a question to the Pope that, look, Pope, this is the teaching that you're giving us about Joshua commanding the sun to stop from moving, and it's even recorded in the holy book. Tell us, between the sun and the earth, because these people, Joshua was in the earth and is commanding the sun to stop from moving. So he asked the Pope, between the sun and the earth, which one moves? So the church, under the command from the Pope, they had to persecute Galileo for coming up with this known fact that is true today, of which by then the church was ignorant about it. However, by then the church disapproved of this theory because the Holy Scriptures stated that the earth is at the center, not the sun. As the contents of the Bible were taken literally, the publishing of these books proved to the church that Copernicus and Galileo were sinners. They preached through their writings that the Bible was wrong, so they were persecuted. And Nicholas Copernicus, who was born in 1473 and died in 1543, he was a mathematician and astronomer who established a model of the universe with the sun rather than the earth at its center. So his most notable book on the revolutions of heavenly bodies was highly controversial when it was published in 1543. That was the year when he died, but nevertheless became a fundamental turning point in the history of science. So we want to talk about the list of men like these ones who were persecuted by the Roman Catholic Church under the command of the topmost man, whom we all at a certain period of our time thought that he was the third person from God. A period of time whereby all of us, we thought that it's God, Jesus, and then the Pope. To an extent that some of us, we were thinking that the Pope is the young brother of Jesus Christ. Yes, so list of people executed by the Holy Church. Arnold of Brescia was executed, and his remains were burned by Pope's guards, and his ashes were thrown into the river. This is the man called Arnold of Brescia. He was executed by Pope's guards. Cardinal Alfonso Petrucci, this was the cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church. So Cardinal Alfonso Petrucci was convicted of plotting against Pope Leo X, and he was strangled in the cells in Rome on the 4th of July 1517. He was 26 by then, and he had been a prisoner in the papal fortress for 6 weeks. One of 5 cardinals accused of plotting to poison Pope Leo X, and his execution was judicially sanctioned, but in the most dubious of circumstances. Cardinal Carlo Carafa and Giovanni Carafa, plus Duke of Pariano, the nephew of Pope Paul IV, was sentenced to strangulation in prison and beheading respectively by Pope Pius IV as his first public act on March 5, 1561. Pomponio Argerio, civil law student at the University of Padua, if he repented, he would be strangled before burning, but the 24-year-old student refused to repent. 1 year later, on the 19th of August 1556, he was executed by civil authorities in the Piazza Navona, Rome. Maintaining his composure while he was boiled in oil, he stayed alive for 15 minutes before dying. These are some of the shame that the Pope or the Roman Catholic Church does not want the world to know, but these are recorded incidents that the Roman Catholic, under the guidance of their Pope, the man whom we all think that He is the holy man leading the holy church, living in a holy city, have done, and does not want the whole world to notice that these things were done by them. Right, so Pietro Canesecchi, an Italian humanist. Canesecchi went to Florence only to be betrayed by his patron, Cosimo de' Medici. He was beheaded and burned. He was punished because of his sympathy for and affiliation with the Protestant Reformation. Meneccio Furiariano Mera, who was the mayor and the philosopher, he was condemned to death as a heretic by the courts of Aguilera and Concordia and burned at the stake in 1599 for being angry at the church for controlling all the knowledge. That's the knowledge that is in the Bible and other spiritual books. There is also this man Giordano Bruno, who was an Italian priest, a philosopher. Yes, this man, for 8 years he was kept imprisoned and interrogated periodically. When in the end he refused to recant, he was declared a heretic and burned at the stake. It is often maintained that Bruno was executed because of his Copernicanism and his belief in the infinity of inhabited worlds. So these people were astronomers, they were scientists who could see what the church could not see, and every time when they opened their mouth and tell what they could foresee, they were beheaded or burned at stake. Ferrante Paravisio had to be beheaded by the papacy at the Avignon for apostasy for his witty attacks on the Roman Curia, and this is Ferrante Paravisino. You can go and look up for these things for your own. Another man, Enrico Triveri, who was decapitated, convicted of the composition of malicious and seditious writings against Pope Clement XII on February 23, 1737. You can see the timeline shows that there is more evil things that the church has done before it was introduced to us here in Africa. There is a very, very sad history which happened to the man who translated the Bible from Greek to English. On October 6, 1536, William Tyndale was found guilty of heresy and translating the Bible from Greek to English. He was tied to a stake, strangled to death, and burned to ashes. Popularly known as the father of the English Bible, and a brilliant person who spoke 12 languages fluent at the age of 21. Many of these scientists and brilliant people, they died at the very, very young age. So nothing frightens evil men as much as a good man is willing to stand in their way. Yes, lifting up the Pope's dress so that we can see what's under there. African Eyes Radio, your revolutionary radio. There are so many things that the Church, the Roman Catholic, under the guidance of the Pope, has done. The Pope of Rome funded slavery. The Pope of Rome said once that it is okay to sell people. In 1493 AD, the Pope asserts rights to colonize, convert, and enslave people. This was Pope Alexander VI, who issued a papal bull or a decree in which he authorizes Spain and Portugal to colonize the Americans and its native people as subjects. So the decree asserts the rights of Spain and Portugal to colonize, convert, and enslave. It also justifies the enslavement of Africans. According to this document, the Papal Bull, it was the Pope who authorized the missionaries to come to Africa and grab the land. So EFF, Julius Malema, when talking about land expropriation without compensation, you know where to go first. It was the Pope who authorized the land grabs. It was a decree signed by the Pope that the missionaries should go and grab wherever the land their convoys will find. You can look up for this document on the internet, the Papal Bull Decree. It's there waiting for you and me to access it. This is what we had for you today, lifting up the Pope's dress so that we can see the shame that is hiding under there. We have seen the shame under the Pope's dress, that he is the one who gave the rights to colonize, convert, and enslave the native people and also Africans. The same papacy funded slavery, and the same papacy authorized the beheaded and the killing of so many innocent people who were bringing light to the church and to the earth. But just because the church did not want anyone to contradict with the message that it is displaying or the message that it's giving to the world, so these people had to lose their lives. African Teacher on African Eyes Radio. Thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you very much for listening to us. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of the teachings from me, the African Teacher.